The biggest risk of foodborne illness from eggs comes from salmonella. Salmonella is a risk in all eggs, whether they are organic, brown, omega-3, or any other variety. Salmonella can be found inside eggs that appear perfectly normal, which is the reason why consumers are warned to never eat raw or undercooked eggs unless they are pasteurized. The illness caused by salmonella, called salmonellosis, first began to emerge as a public health problem in the 1980s. Many states instituted new regulations in an attempt to assure egg safety, and the federal government enacted its final egg rule in 2010. The requirements apply to any egg producer with at least 3,000 egg-laying hens and are to be phased in over 36 months. The new regulations didn't come in time to stop the recall of more than 500 million eggs tainted with salmonella in 2010. The FDA traced the source of the eggs to 2 Iowa farms and pinpointed chicken feed as the source. But how does salmonella get inside the hard shell of an egg? On average, 1 out of every 20,000 chicken eggs contains a small amount of salmonella that is deposited into the egg as it is being formed. In other words, the average consumer will encounter a contaminated egg once every 84 years. Chickens can pick up salmonella from feed or from some other source in their environment, which can be contaminated by rodents, flies, and other birds if the producer is not diligent about sanitation. The bacteria may infect the hen's ovaries and contaminate the eggs before the shells are formed. Chickens harbor salmonella without any sign of illness, making it impossible to pinpoint which hens are infected. If a contaminated egg is laid, it usually contains only a very small number of salmonella, but under ideal conditions, salmonella doubles every 20 minutes, so eggs that aren't cooled quickly can harbor millions of bacteria in just 8 hours. That is why it's so important to keep eggs refrigerated and to cook them completely. Salmonella also can be introduced through the shell because an eggshell contains some 9,000 microscopic pores where salmonella can get in from a contaminated conveyor belt or even a vat of contaminated egg cleaning liquid. This is why sanitation in an egg producing facility is so important. The typical egg that looks clean at the farm actually has about 10,000 colony-forming units, or CFUs, of salmonella on the shell before washing, even at a well-managed facility. After the egg is washed, there will be fewer than 20 CFUs on the shell. Eggs contaminated by fecal matter have far more CFUs and will still have far more CFUs after washing. It is important to understand that organic, cage-free, and free-range eggs are just as vulnerable to salmonella as eggs produced in the conventional way, if the conventional facility is properly managed and sanitary. In conventional facilities, eggs are laid on the sloping floor of the battery cage, so there is minimal contact between the egg and the hen, and hens are kept away from their droppings and the pathogens in those droppings. There is actually greater potential for inadvertent contamination in cage-free and free-range production systems, because salmonella is found widely in nature, even in the soil. Floor eggs, which are laid by cage-free hens in a barn setting, and eggs laid on the range, have a greater chance of coming in contact with salmonella in the nest or soil and in fecal matter. In October 2011, health authorities in Minnesota linked several cases of salmonella poisoning to an organic egg producer there, and several thousand cartons of eggs sold under 3 brand names were voluntarily recalled. Agricultural Research Service food technologist Deanna Jones and her team in the agency's Egg Safety and Quality Research Unit compared environmental and egg microbiology for laying hens in conventional cages and free-range sister flocks, and found no difference in the incidence of salmonella in the 2 systems. The study actually found more Campylobacter in the free-range production environment than in conventional cage environments. Campylobacterosis is the most common cause of diarrhea in the U.S., and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates there are more than 2 million cases of the illness from various sources each year. Campylobacter is naturally occurring and was detected in the environment, not in the eggs, and egg consumption is only occasionally the cause of Campylobacterosis. Listeria was also detected in both environments, with no difference in prevalence between conventional cages and free-range environments. There have been no documented outbreaks of listeriosis from consumption of eggs or egg products, but studies have detected listeria in raw egg samples. Healthy people might not get sick from eating eggs contaminated with listeria, but people with weakened immune systems, the elderly and pregnant women, need to be especially careful that their eggs are cooked. In reality, the risk of getting salmonellosis from organic, cage-free, free-range, and conventional eggs is about equal and very low. That is partly because in the United States, all eggs are washed and sanitized to remove bacteria as well as dirt. Of course, sanitizing won't get rid of any salmonella that might be inside of an egg. That's why it's important to throw away any cracked, leaking, broken, or unclean eggs. These conditions can spread salmonella from an infected egg to other eggs in a carton. Eggs are still relatively safe, though, and getting safer. The new egg safety rule requires producers to do things like being more careful about cleaning and disinfecting hen houses, and getting eggs into refrigerators within 36 hours after laying. Egg producers must buy chicks and young hens only from suppliers who routinely test for salmonella. Egg producers also must have a written salmonella prevention plan and maintain records documenting their compliance. Scientists are also working on new techniques to promote egg safety, such as a salmonella vaccine for chickens that is already in use in Europe, and a method of rapidly cooling eggs so salmonella can't multiply. So here are the most important things you need to know about specialty eggs. First, USDA research has shown there are no substantial quality differences among traditional, cage-free, free-roaming, pasteurized, nutritionally enhanced, and fertile eggs. Nor are specialty eggs any safer than traditional eggs. The effects of alternative egg production systems on food safety are not completely understood, but research is being conducted. Eggs in general have an excellent shelf life, whether they are white, brown, or organic. Conventional eggs are on the store shelf for about 12 days from the date they are packed at the producer's farm. Specialty eggs are usually kept on the shelf about 5 days longer. So remember, if an egg is infected, there's a little more time for salmonella to multiply if not refrigerated correctly. But when kept in the egg carton, clean eggs free of cracks will keep for months. How do you tell how long eggs have been kept on the shelf before use? The Julian date stamped on the end of the carton will tell you the pack date, when eggs were washed, graded, and placed into the carton. This is a 3-digit code with 001 meaning January 1st and 365 meaning December 31st. Eggs packed on June 15th would be March 166. Some cartons include a sell-by date, which isn't required. This date should be not more than 30 days after the pack date. Sometimes you will see a use-by date stamped right on the egg. This date is 45 days after the egg was actually laid, not packed. The major differences have to do with what laying hens were fed and how they are housed. Organic eggs are laid by hens that receive only feed made from certified organic feed, and omega-3 eggs are laid by hens with a diet high in components such as flaxseed. Lutein eggs are produced by hens with a diet high in marigold extract, and hens producing vegetarian eggs are fed a diet free of any animal products. Traditional eggs are produced by hens that live in cages, while organic, cage-free, and free-range eggs are produced by hens that do not live in cages. These eggs are produced for a niche market of consumers concerned about animal welfare, but the eggs taste the same, are the same quality, and are no safer than traditional eggs. They are always more expensive than eggs produced in the conventional manner.